What's up, my good people? I want to holler at y'all today about raising and guiding our kids, man. You seldom see or hear about someone encouraging their child to be a person in a position of power, if you understand what I mean. First off, we have to understand and redefine the word power. Majority of us swear up and down that money is power, or respect is power, or whatever. When the bottom line is, it's your position, man. People always want to compare life to chess. Probably don't even know what the fuck chess is or how to play it, but when it comes to chess, it's about the pieces. Different pieces have different powers, right? And the more moves and spaces a piece can move, the more powerful it is, or the more power it has, right? So we keep training and teaching our kids to be fucking pawns and motherfucking, not even rooks, but pawns and motherfucking knights, because we teaching them to focus on certain things that don't have shit to do with the full scope of this world and the life that we live in right now. You see what I'm saying? We want our kids to be fucking the number one athlete, or the number one rapper, or we are aspiring to be that number one athlete or that number one rapper, and then we'll turn around and complain about the conditions of the world, of society, of our community, right? We complain about it. When you complain about something, you're identifying the problem, but complaining means you're looking at it from your perspective. You're not looking at it from a worldly view. You know what I mean? So therefore, we're not looking at a worldly solution. We're not even looking for a fucking individual solution. We're content with complaining and then just walking it off. You know what I mean? Me, I teach my son, look, my oldest son, because I have two sons, but I teach my oldest son, you see what's going on in this world, man. You see, you got cops out here killing black people for nothing. For nothing, man. What can we do about it? We could fucking get 3 million men to go wherever the fuck and stand on the porch and make some speeches. Everybody done wrote some shit down and they talking to each other, right? And then say, or else. Or what I do, my alternative is I plant those seeds into my children, man, to aspire to become a motherfucking sheriff, police chief, senator, councilman, legislator, lawman, judge. This is what I try to direct my son's thinking towards. You know what I'm saying? Don't fucking grow up waiting to go work for somebody to help keep them rich while you barely getting by. No, the world don't care about that, right? So you have to do something that's gonna impact not just your world, but the world, the whole world. The only way we can impact the world is finding effective ways to get their attention and to let them know that, look, I have this power, and that means I recognize the bullshit. And guess what? I can do something about it, right? I can do something about it on paper. Pen is mightier than the sword. If I'm training my son to say, yeah, boy, when you get older, you make sure you go to that fucking Million Man March so you can be seen on camera, or you can let everybody know that you've been there. Fuck a march, man. Right? Fuck a march. And I'm not crazy enough to say I'm just about to take up arms and go out here busting on the police, even though if I didn't have a record, I would be on the level of at least going to get me a license to get a firearm, right? We don't even think along them lines. But the average nigga will hurry up and say, I'd rather be caught with it than caught without it. So why not be caught with it legally? Right? So, but we got to start training our kids, man. We can't keep leaving them to fend for themselves the way that we were left to fend for ourselves. You know? And it's not to make our parents responsible, because their responsibility was to make sure that we had a roof over our head, clothes on our backs, shoes on our feet, food to eat and shit like that. You know, so it's our motherfucking duty and our obligation to assure the same things plus some. It's always the objective of the parent to make sure that the child grows up better than they did. But a lot of y'all got better fucked up. Y'all think better means, oh, my kid always got Jordans, my kid's always got a clean outfit. Fuck that. That's not better. That just mean they look nice, right? That just mean they look nice. I'm talking about sitting down with their ass and making sure that they got every question on their homework right. Right? I tell my kids, when you do your homework, check that shit to make sure that all the answers are right. Don't just do your homework or complete the shit and then just say, okay, I'm cool because I did it. Nah, do that shit and go over it. Same thing when you take a test. You take a test, you fucking take that test, and if you finish with enough time to spare, and while you want to sit around and play with pencils and shit, no. Go over them fucking answers to make sure that you got them shits right. That's what I used to do. You know, I'm a gangbanging thug, whatever you want to call it, ass cat, but I guarantee you, from elementary school all the way up till now, when it comes to a motherfucking test, I bet you I passed that motherfucker with flying colors, right? So I make sure that my kids have the same ability all day. You know, so the basis of this whole spiel that I'm shooting to y'all is tend more to your kids with the future in mind. Not our future. You know, we doing what we gotta do, man, but we gotta make sure that our kids' lives will never be as fucked up and as hard as ours are, and as our folks before us, as hard as their lives were, man. You know, you had people from the 1800s who died so that fucking Barack Obama could be the president today. And they're not alive to see it. Right? So we may not be alive to see the full revolution and the transition that it's gonna bring about. But we gotta initiate that shit, man. We can't sit around saying fuck it, every man for themselves. We can't do that. Why you think all these other cultures prevail in society? They don't have that every man for themselves mentality. You don't see Latinos talk about fuck that. They doing what they do, we doing what we do. You don't see Asians doing that shit. You don't see fucking East Indians and none of them other motherfuckers. And you damn sure don't see them white folks doing that shit. You know? And even that's something that I got to work on, and that's comparing ourselves to other people and other cultures, you know, because they tried to give us a culture, right? And then we came with the rap game, hip hop, with music, period. And then what they do? They slid up under our shit and make it seem like they're the creators, or that they made it better than what we came with. Right? We as civilized black folks, we add and subtract, we build and destroy. Them as white people and devils, they calculate. When you calculate, you doing that without feeling. You know, that ain't no soul in the calculation. You know, that's why we have calculators, not adders and subtractors, right? I mean, that's just something, you know, we got to start gearing our thinking towards, man, is our kids knowing what we know now. How we always say, man, if I would have known then what I know now, that's the opportunity. Give all that information to your children so that they can know then what they need to know now, right? So when they get to our age, the world gonna be theirs. That's all I be saying, man. Let's start from the kids and build up and move forward instead of complaining about what's wrong all the fucking time. We know what's wrong, so now we got to work towards that solution. We have to work and not an instant right now solution. The solution we looking for is gonna take place, like I said, way after we gone, man. But we have to dedicate ourselves to that cause. We have to dedicate ourselves to it in our everyday life, not just fucking posting some shit on Facebook. You know, putting up a picture that only 25 people gonna even read. You know what I'm saying? We gotta sit our kids down and talk to their ass about this type of shit. You know, so then when they see it at a young age, they'll be able to recognize it and they'll be able to act accordingly. You know, right now they got us thinking we savage, when in real life, when in reality, we're the civilized. You know, it's like your vision. When you first see something and your eyes first see something, it's really seeing it upside down until it sends the signal to the brain and the dome flips it right side up, right? So that's how they have us thinking, man, upside down, backwards, and inside out. So once we start learning how to think upright and inside out, we'll be able to conquer that ghetto mentality that we have and that broken spirit that they you know, instilled upon us, man. We can change it, man. It's just a process that's gonna take time, and it has to start from the youngest, you know, because once a person gets to a certain age, they're already set in their ways, and I'm talking about teenage years. You know, once you get to a certain age, unless you're impressed by a person, you don't give a fuck about what they have to say, especially about what you got going on, right? So that's what we got to start gearing and working ourselves on and towards is our children and our youth. And I'm not just talking about our biological children, man, because every black child that's in our community, is in our society and in our world, we're responsible for them, man. We're responsible for them because guess what? When we walk past another black person on the street, man, and we might be eye to eye, mad dogging or whatever you want to call it, we get angry because we see our reflection. Right? When we look in the mirror, we kind of avert our eyes because we don't even want to look ourselves eye to eye in the mirror. So guess, you know, how you feeling walking past another person that look just like you, that has the same anger and frustration and all this negative shit built up in them. When you walk past each other, man, that shit is just a powder keg. Because you seeing yourself. You seeing your image and your reflection. So we got to start showing our children that their image and their reflection is not savage. That, you know, we're civilized, man. We can recognize each other and have that automatic love for the next black man and black woman and black child because we have that love for ourselves. That's what we got to start teaching our kids, man. And I'm going to end it on that note. Peace. My name is Godfather Born Allah. Peace.